Hello, and thank you for joining me here today for the third episode of The Wheel Play. I'm your host, Richie Luntz, aka the Man of Many Hats, and I'll be looking at all 30 teams and giving my take on each one. I'm from Liverpool in the UK. I love sports, but none more so than European football soccer. Sorry if you know all this, it's just in case anyone's watching and they don't know the deal. And now, obviously, I love baseball as well. If you want to speak to me, give me ideas, add me on Twitter at manofmanyhat5, or if you prefer, you can email me at thatmanofmanyhats@gmail.com. So, how does the show work? Well, each week I speak about the division that the wheel picked from the week before. Last week was the AL Central. This week we're looking at the AL West. With that in mind, let's get started. Okay, so first up, ballparks. Completely forgotten the names of all the ballparks, by the way. No, I haven't. Let me see. Sorry, but not a baseball stadium. So that one, that's the Coliseum, I believe. I hear Safeco's a nice field. It's tricky because I'm not big on indoor stadium or arenas. So, what to do? This is really tricky because Angels Stadium is outdoor, but it's a bit bland. And so's Mariners. I've heard it's T-Mobile now, used to be Safeco. I've heard it's a nice stadium, but just to watch on TV, it looks very plain. So I'm going to give that the 2. Give the Angels the 3. Now, I think even though the Rangers is an indoor stadium or arena, it doesn't really feel like it from what I've been told, and it doesn't. There's a lot of light that gets in. So I'm going to give them the 5, even though I love the train for the Astros. So that was tricky, but got to go with something. Former players, no offense to Vlad Guerrero, who I actually know of, but he's the only one who's made it to the Hall of Fame, so I have to give them 1 point. I'm going to give my 2 points to the A's, even though they've got a lot of players who've made it in. Unfortunately, there's only Rollie Fingers, who I actually know. I've heard of Dennis Eckersley, but yeah, I'm going to stick with that too. Bagwell and Biggio, Eckersley and Rollie Fingers. Tricky. No, just because of because it's close and the amount of legends that have gone in, I'm going to give that to the Astros. And then I'm going to give 3 to the A's instead. Mariners, 4 or 5. Pudge Rodriguez, I know. Nolan Ryan, I know. But Ken Griffey Jr. and Edgar Martinez are going to take some beating, so it's got to be 4 and 5. Current players, you'd probably have to say, I mean, on balance, it's the Astros easily that should win the division and all that, but I'm sorry, I love Shohei Ohtani far too much. Then you got Mike Trout, you got Rendon, Syndergaard, and Iglesias coming into close. If you could just get a bit more pitching depth, who knows? But I'm going to give the 4 to... I've got to give it to the Astros, even if I'm not the biggest fan. Love Altuve. He didn't cheat, by the way. Verlander, Bregman, Kyle Tucker. Yuri Gurriel, easy for me to say. And then Alvarez and Michael Brantley. So, yeah, it's got to be the Astros, much as it pains me to do it. Number 3 might come in as a bit of a shock for people. And number 3, I'm going to go for the Rangers. Nice additions with Seager and Semien. Young looks like he could be something, and Adolis Garcia is one of my favourite players in baseball at the moment. So they get the 3. The A's or the Mariners. Robbie Ray puts the Mariners over the top for me. I think he's ready to break out. I did say it last year as well, but I think he can be even better this year. And Kelenic looks like one to watch. And then the main thing with the A's is you don't know who's going to be there. Olsen's being linked with the move away. Chapman. I quite like Elvis Andrus, but I don't think anyone's after his bat. So, yeah. Easy to give 5 points to the Mariners for the farm system because they've got the best farm system in baseball at the moment. But they've got the best lineup of talent. Apparently, it's then the Rangers. Then it is the last 3 are not very good at all in terms of the talent that they've got. If you believe the hype or lack thereof. So A's, Astros, Angels. Ownership. It's got to be no, not them. It's got to be them for 5. Astros, and then Angels. I'll give 4. Rangers didn't work out for them, but they went for it. Mariners. Oh, what am I doing? Mariners 2. And anyone who's trying to move the ball club and be in a skinflint at the same time is, well, they're the lowest of the low, aren't they? Uniform. Gone back and forth on this one, but I'm going to have to give it to the Rangers because I just think that the Texas nameplate's solid and the Rangers nameplate's solid. And I like the red, the blue, and then the grey. So I'll give them the 5. Astros, I'm going to give them the 4 because as much as I'm not a huge fan of the home and alternate, I absolutely love the throwback. I think it's one of the best jerseys I've ever seen in baseball. So they get the 4. It's pretty, I don't know. I think I'm going to have to go Angels. Maybe it's the red, maybe it's the Liverpool in me. I don't mind the kind of middle of the road and the A's jerseys, and I prefer the A's logo, and I like the story behind it. But yeah, I'm happy to go with that. And the Mariners, just not feeling it at all. Just one step up from the Twins for me, that one. Oh, it's not even a Twins episode and I'm still laying into them. Sorry, Minnesota. Je ne sais quoi. I don't know what. I mean, Moneyball, got to give them the 5. They just seem to be relevant, even when they're not. Even when they're trying to sell the team, even when everything's against them, they still seem to be performing. You wouldn't put it past them to get into the playoffs next season. I mean, they wouldn't be a favourite to do it, but then you would have to say, I suppose the Angels are the biggest draw at the moment, so we'll give them the 4. Mariners. The problem with the Mariners is they're all the way over in Seattle, and I feel sorry for Seattle fans in terms of the media market because they just don't get it looking. Ken Griffey Jr. Yeah, I'm going to say that Ichiro and all that, and I didn't even take into account Ichiro for former players, and they still came top. Impressive. And then you've got the Rangers or the Astros. Well, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to bring it up. Rangers didn't cheat. I left it for as long as I could. And yeah, it's quite a quick episode this week. I haven't set up the tier list. My bad. Will there be any changes? Yes, there will. I've been thinking about this. Oh, I'll have to think about it more because I'm not on the right page. And I decided that was a fairer reflection of how I feel. The Giants it was last year. It was a special run. I like the rivalry, but I've got other times to look for rivalries and things like that. I like the fact that San Diego were a one-team city, and I watched a few videos about what the Padres mean to them, and I saw a documentary on something called Pete's Park, and that kind of swayed me. I'm a people person. Maybe I'll see something with the Giants and not sway me back. I don't know, but at the moment, I just feel like I'm going for the one team city. So, am I changing this? Do like the Royals. Leave it this week. We'll see how we go. But on to this week's rankings. AL West. See if I can find them again. Make a nice little game for me to play to learn. Astros and the Mariners. Now this is tricky. Never won it. I do like the fact that there's someone that hasn't won it. I'm going to put the A's bottom, but it's nothing against the Oakland A's fans. And if you were to remain the Oakland A's and get a stadium, I would heavily consider it. But the idea that you're moving to Vegas and just becoming like another sellout, again, culturally, it's just not a thing that I particularly like. Astros, they have to be second last. I'm kind of over the cheating scandal. Me personally, I'll never acknowledge the 2017 World Series. Yeah, you were proven to have cheated, but I know I'm one of the few people who actually is taking that stand because of morals and not because I've got a rivalry or anything like that. Because most of the people who cheated have now gone to other teams, and the amount of people who are lining up to sign Carlos Correa shows the level of hypocrisy, because he was the worst offender in terms of, I don't know if he was the worst offender in terms of cheating. I know he was up there, but I do know that he was the worst in terms of, oh, well, we would have won anyway. Well, if you'd have won anyway, don't cheat. Simple. If you can gain an advantage on the field of play, do it. I've got no problem with that. Baseball's all about cheating to a certain degree, but not off the field. Nah, that's not how it's done. Mariners, again, I like the Mariners history. I like Ken Griffey Jr. I love Ichiro. Edgar Martinez. It's a tricky one, but I'm just gonna have to go with me gut and say, as someone who's starting out in baseball, I just want to watch Shohei Ohtani whenever he plays. I don't think anyone can really begrudge me that. So I may go Texas. I don't. It's going to be between these three anyway, and that one might be one that changes. But at the moment, I'm happy enough to keep that as it is. So, there. Okay, so that's saved. And then we go to the final thing, which is to spin that wheel. As you'll notice, the wheel a little bit different today. I've been playing about with it. Where it lands, nobody knows. Oh, NL Central. Oh, so that's what? Cubs, Cardinals, Brewers, Pirates, and I always miss one. I've managed. Cubs, Cardinals, Pirates, Reds. I had Reds in my head, but I didn't want to say it because I thought I might be wrong. Yeah. So we'll write that out in a bit. So that's it. If you want to join us for the NL Central show, please do. It's been a bit quicker than usual because I'm starting to get the hang of it. And I just really want to get through it so I can start following the teams and that. But if you want to give me your thoughts on a team, what you like, what you dislike, what I should be looking for, if you're happy with who I've picked so far, if you're not happy, then just catch me on Twitter at manofmanyhat5, or if you prefer, you can email me at thatmanofmanyhats@gmail.com. Other than that, sincere thanks for listening, and I will see you again for the next show.